You want me to kill a human? Are you out of your fucking mind? The assassin's mandibles clicked together in barely restrained anger. I thought the Black Hand took any job, but this, not a chance. The client, unfazed, just leaned back and shrugged. Then I'll find someone else to do it. Good luck with that, the assassin spat. No guild across the whole damn galaxy is dumb enough to take that contract. And even if you find some idiot willing to die trying, they'll never pull it off. Not without dying themselves or selling you out in the process. You're telling me humans are unkillable? I never said that, the assassin growled. They're as mortal as anyone else. But killing one and living long enough to spend the money, that's a different story altogether. So why not? What makes them so untouchable? The assassin sighed, clearly irritated. The only way to make sure a human stays dead is to drop a neutron bomb on them from orbit, just to be fucking sure. And even then, you'd better hop in the fastest ship you can find and get the hell out of this galaxy. Because once the rest of them figure out what you did, well, you're as good as dead. And that's assuming you survive long enough to run. The client frowned, disbelief etched across their face. You're shitting me? Wish I was. Did your planet even have schools? Or do they just let you wander around being this ignorant? What does that have to do with anything? The assassin leaned in. Ever hear of the Delpin Empire? Sure, they collapsed trying to tame a death world. That death world is the humans' home planet. And no, the planet didn't break them. The humans did. The assassin drained his glass, turning back to his bewildered drinking companion. The Delpin used to rule half the galaxy. They crushed civilizations, enslaved entire species. Serve or die, that was their motto. And the galaxy's governments just sat back, wringing their hands and making empty speeches. Nothing stopped the Delpin war machine. That is, until they came across a system called Sol, and the poor bastards living on its third planet. Humans. The client blinked. Humans. That's the death world. Yeah, and they were just getting their shit together, figuring out space travel, when the Delpin rolled in. Humans were divided into these nations, kind of like mini empires, but without the sense to unite. It made invading them easier. The Delpin hit them fast, jamming their communications so they couldn't warn each other. But even with everything stacked against them, the humans fought back harder than anything the Delpin had seen before. Took the Delpin a full month to conquer Earth. 1 month. While most pre-FTL worlds fell in a week. Once they had the humans under their boot, the Delpin did what they always did. Enslave the survivors, split them up, put them to work. A lot of humans were farmers, ranchers, so they let them do their thing. An army marches on its stomach, as the humans say. And the Delpin's war machine was always hungry. Some were shipped off-world to the mines, where the high gravity made humans perfect for dangerous work. But the Delpin, like every other conqueror, followed a predictable script. Brutal oppression, a few years of relative peace, then uprisings 5 to 10 years later. Beat down the rebels, and survivors either gave up or died. The assassin paused for a moment, as if lost in thought. But humans, they didn't follow that script. Instead, they waited. They worked. They bred. They multiplied. The Delpin didn't care how many humans were born. More slaves for the machine, right? They even encouraged it. Offered extra rations for women who had more kids. If only they'd known that the humans weren't growing more workers. They were raising an army. The assassin leaned closer, his voice dropping to a low growl. For 20 years, the humans played along. On the surface, they were obedient little slaves. But beneath, they were biding their time, secretly building resistance networks, reverse engineering Delpin tech, preparing for the day they'd strike back. And strike they did. It started small. A miner refusing to work, a rancher claiming disease wiped out his herd, a factory explosion here, a production disruption there. The Delpin didn't see it coming. While the Delpin war front was far away, fighting in distant systems, the humans launched their rebellion. Their leaders, those who had supposedly surrendered, had been working in secret the entire time, hiding underground, directing their forces. And when they finally made their move, it was like a tidal wave. France, you say? The assassin's mandibles twitched in amusement. Humans, their love a good rebellion, always shouting something like "Viva la Revolution" whenever they've had enough of tyranny. Don't ask me what that means. Never bothered learning their damn languages. Anyway, things started going sideways when a crate of plasma rifles vanished. Then a grav tank wouldn't start. Turned out, the thing was stripped bare. No power, no anti-grav, nothing. The Delpin leaders thought it was all beneath them, but still needed someone to clean up the mess, so they called us, the Black Hand, and other guilds to handle the rabble. Hell, it cost the Empire a fortune, but they paid. Earth, dirt I think they call it, has gravity about 3 times the galactic standard. Every agent we sent had to be fitted with grav assist suits just to function. And even then, it took them a week to adjust. At first, we thought the rebels were ghosts. We'd see the results of their sabotage, but never catch them in the act. Our agents would patrol a street, and in the blink of an eye, the street would empty. Then boom, an explosion would rip through the air, often taking our agents with it. One of our guys lost it after his buddy got blown to bits. He stormed into some random town, started executing humans who couldn't answer his questions. Not surprisingly, a mob turned on him after his 3rd kill and tore him to pieces. Honestly, I couldn't even blame the Delpin for refusing to pay out his death fee. We were hired to stop riots, not start them. The contract was going to hell fast. Sure, we were killing humans left and right, just like we were paid to. But what's the point if you can't get off the planet alive to spend the damn money? It wasn't long before we couldn't step foot on the surface without a heavy escort. The humans would strike out of nowhere, then melt back into the shadows. On the continent of Africa, one of our agents chased a rebel into the savannah, only to be ambushed by a pack of lions. Yep, they even wrangled their planet's beasts into the fight. And don't even get me started on the number of agents we lost to their dogs. Those damn canines are more dangerous than you'd think. And as for that death trap they call Australia, the less said, the better. First, one regional administration center fell silent, then another. By the time the Delpin nobles realized the scale of the problem, the entire planet was a lost cause. And it wasn't just Earth. Everywhere humans had been shipped to work started showing signs of resistance. The humans were sparking rebellion with the other slave species, too. And before you ask, yes, the Delpin had patrol ships cruising around, trying to keep things under control. But those ships went silent as well. The humans had infiltrated them, destroyed or captured every one. They sent the tech back to their scientists, reverse engineering everything. They uncovered secret factories the Delpin didn't even know existed, churning out parts for space docks and eventually starships. When the Delpin finally sent response ships, they were no match for the fleet the humans had built. It's no exaggeration to say the Delpin were victims of their own arrogance. They kept sending response vessels, thinking they could squash the rebellion with brute force, but every fleet they sent disappeared. They were too focused on expanding the Empire to notice the rot from within. When they finally decided to pull a conquest fleet off the front lines to deal with the humans, it was too late. Not only had Earth gone silent, but the next 3 systems over were quiet too. When the conquest fleet showed up 10 systems out from Sol, they didn't just find humans. They found fleets from every species the Delpin had enslaved. After that victory, the Delpin Emperor must have been sweating bullets. His fleets were halfway across the galaxy, and now the humans were sitting right between him and his armies. He ordered an emergency recall of all fleets, even reached out to assassin guilds like ours to help. But by then, we'd already lost 2/3 of our agents, so we refused. Turns out, that decision saved our asses. 7 other assassin guilds that took the contract were wiped out completely. We knew it was suicide, no matter how much the Empire was willing to pay. While the Delpin were busy pulling their forces back, the humans kept spreading. They traveled to every species under Delpin rule, fanning the flames of rebellion everywhere they went. The galaxy was on fire, and the ineffective Galactic Council joined the humans in the fight. The Delpin's empire was crumbling, the supply lines cut off. Their fleets couldn't get more than a dozen systems out before getting ambushed by the Human Alliance. The humans fought dirty, laying traps, using EMP mines and false distress signals. The Delpin fleets were bled dry, and when the Allied forces breached Delpin Prime, they found a starving, fractured empire. And that's when the humans unleashed their deadliest weapon, lawyers. They dragged the emperor from his throne and put every Delpin noble, every slaveholder, on trial. By the time the trials were over, the emperor had died of old age, and his successor was forced to right the wrongs done to the galaxy. The once mighty Delpin Empire was reduced to a few systems on the outskirts of the galaxy. Many feared the humans would turn around and conquer the galaxy for themselves. But within a year of the Delpin surrender, they dismantled half their fleet and spread the rest out to hunt pirates and keep the peace. As for us, we were lucky. The humans understood we'd broken our contract, and they let us live, on the condition we disband the Black Hand. They whittled us down to a third of our former strength before their rebellion even left Earth. Now we're nothing but a loose group of independent agents. So, you see, we don't kill humans. You kill a human, their family hunts you down. You kill their family, their entire species hunts you down. And you'd better hope they kill you quickly, because if their lawyers get involved, you'll be lucky if your own people kill you first just to apologize. I had no idea. That much is obvious. The assassin smirked. I'm not usually one to pry, but what did this human do to piss you off anyway? They insulted my broodmate. The assassin laughed hard. That's it. Insult them back. Hell, punch them in the face if it bothers you that much. Humans love a good fight, whether with words or fists. You'll have a better shot at survival that way. You think they'd apologize? Maybe. They're monsters on the battlefield, but they're not uncivilized. If they were, they couldn't have rebuilt the council. They're firm but fair. And now, since my glass is empty, I think we're done here.